and Greg Palast on the line with us. Hey, Greg, how you doing?
What can I tell you? I'm here in Toledo. How are we doing? I'm here in Ohio.
I have been getting calls from, I think 100% of the calls have been from people who have self-identified as African Americans from Ohio, who have said that when they tried to early vote, they were given absentee ballots rather than regular ballots. What the hell's going on in Ohio?
Hell is what's going on. Yes, I am here with investigative photojournalist Daniel Russell, who from Ohio, and we went to out to the Souls with the small missionary Baptist church in Dayton on Souls to the Polls voting, and yeah, after literally 1,000 people were in line. After hours of wait, they got in and they were handed. I'm looking at this thing and I said, "That's not a ballot. It's a application for an absentee ballot." Well, we were in the election clerk's office. That's not obviously you're not absent if you're right in the clerk's office.
Right.
The problem is, so this is happening. So in other words, you have black voters who are getting absentee ballots. Now here, understand. And if you go to gregpalast.com, you'll get this story and you'll see the film we made.
Right.
If you're white, you vote today. Most white people vote today in Ohio, and most Republicans. Almost all black people will vote early in Ohio, the vast majority, and the big day was Sunday, where you go to church and then you go to the polls.
Right.
Sunday voters got absentee ballots in many counties, not real ballots. But the white voters today are getting ballots.
So why is this? And well, before I even ask why is this, what is the significance of an absentee ballot? So what? I got an absentee ballot. I'm still voting, aren't I?
The problem is that the count is often absent. If you read my latest book, Billionaires and Ballot Bandits, you find out that officially 488,000 absentee ballots were cast and not counted. That's the official number in 2008. The New York Times says about 3 million cast and not counted. The key thing there is about 9-1. The ballots which are rejected, cast not counted, are cast by African Americans. This is a typical trick. There's so many ways to lose your vote if you mail it in. For example, in Ohio, you have to fill out this complex application form. You have to fill out a complex envelope form. If you miss a space, get any of it wrong, have a signature that includes or excludes a middle initial, which you didn't have in your registration, you lose your vote. Bang, you're dead. Plus, if you put an X or a check instead of filling the bubble, or if you make the bubble too small, too big, you lose your vote as well. So there's a million ways, and plus you can be challenged because your ballot is sitting there available for challenge. It's not counted. It won't be counted till tonight, those early voting. Previously, an early vote was an early vote. You were on whatever machines or ballots, punch cards, voter paper ballots, and they were counted and they were put in the tally immediately. This is brand new. This will knock out probably about 20% of those votes will go down the toilet. So figure about 10% of the black vote will be lost.
Wow. We're talking with Greg Palast. GregPalast.com is his website, his new book, Ballot Bandits and Billionaires. Or is it Billionaires and Ballot Bandits?
Billionaires and Ballot Bandits.
There you go. Billionaires and Ballot Bandits. And go ahead, Greg.
Thank my publisher, Seven Stories Press. The book is today completely, it's a #1 New York Times bestseller, paperback politics, #1, but we are giving it away for free completely today. It's just, there's too much at stake in America right now. Go to gregpalast.com, download it.
That is spectacular. And so, Greg, is this kind of, this even goes beyond voter suppression. This is discarding people's votes. Is this unique to Ohio?
No, it's not unique to Ohio, but Ohio, after Florida and Colorado and New Mexico are probably the fourth, I would say, worst in voter suppression tactics. Mm-hmm. In 2008, Obama won the state because you had a Democratic Secretary of State, which had a month of Sundays for early voting, and so there were no lines for black folk. So you have this absentee ballot trickery game going on, but you also are back to the lines that we had in the notorious 2004 Ohio race, right, where Bush was reelected in part by long lines in black communities. They're back. One single voting station in each county. I mean, you're talking about Cincinnati with 1.5 million people, where people were voting Sunday night up to near midnight after the polls, waiting 7 hours when the polls closed at 5. They were still in line till midnight. Because
there was only one voting station for the entire county of over 1 million people?
That's right. Only one.
That's insane. Or that's criminal.
It's politics. The Republican Secretary of State is a guy named John Houston, and he is violently partisan. He tried to eliminate early voting, and the court said you can't do that. That's racist. You can't do that. Just okay. Guess what? I'll make it one Sunday, 4 hours, which is most black voters. 4 hours. One polling place in each county, no matter how big the city, Dayton, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Toledo. That's it. And
so if you live in a white rural area, you probably have a 10-minute wait. But if you live in a big city, a large urban stronghold, a largely Democratic stronghold, you're competing with 1 million other people for that one voting place. Well, you should see the lines. Go to GregPalast.com, see the film of those lines, and see the churches, see the color of the people voting, about 75, 80% African-American. Right. Right now, after we get off, I'm going voting with an almost white voter, and in a suburban area, and I'll report back to you on whether there's a difference, whether there's 1,000 white folk and their SUVs backed up. Well, I voted on Saturday, and it took me 32 minutes to vote here in Washington D.C., but it's not a swing state, and it suddenly occurred to me, Louise and I were talking about it, I've never waited more than 15 minutes in my entire life, and I've been voting since the election of '72. And so, we've just been talking about this on the air for the last couple of days, and people have been calling in. And what we're hearing is that the majority of people who live in affluent areas, in white areas, in places that are not swing states, 10, 15 minutes is the norm for most people. But if you happen to live in a largely Democratic area, in a swing state, particularly in a swing state, in an area that is largely African American, largely student, largely elderly down in Florida, plan on waiting hours and hours and hours, because the Republicans who run those states are going to do everything they can to keep you from voting. And in fact, in Florida, Republican elections officials were stopping. It's massively hot down there and massively long lines that there were in early voting. And they were stopping nonpartisan poll watchers from handing out bottles of water to elderly people in waiting hours in the sun. They said handing out bottles of water was a bribe for Obama. You're kidding. I kid you not. We are getting unbelievable reports at GregPalast.com, and they're documented. This is, by the way, from the Brennan Center. It's not like just some guy calling in. Yeah. And when I got this tip-off about the absentee ballots, I wasn't even supposed to be in Ohio, but I said, you're kidding me. I didn't believe it. Even I went to Professor Bob Fitrakis, who is, of course, the great voting rights attorney. Right. He didn't believe it either. And I actually went to Columbus and took him the absentee ballot application form that I was handed, because I walked in and said, I might vote. So, here you go. It's like, sure, they'll give them out to anyone. Now, how do you respond to some? We actually had, somebody on who was speaking on behalf of the Obama campaign, an R&B singer and star, Eric Robertson. Yes. And I pointed this out to him, and he said, well, maybe it's just a bad precinct or a confused elections official. No. We have a very partisan Republican Secretary of State in Ohio, like we had Ken Blackwell in 2004. Right. This is no joke. This involves tens of thousands of votes. 1.2 million voters were purged from the voter rolls in the last 2 years in Ohio. A lot, it doesn't matter. They're dead people, and that's fine. But there's no reason to be purging voters. And so Ohio is expected today to have 300,000 provisional ballots from people who were wrongly purged. They find their name missing. This is not a small thing, 300,000. And when the ballots are, when those provisional ballots, a new rule was instituted only the day before yesterday, saying that the voter had to fill out a very complex technical form on the provisional ballot. For example, you're not allowed to write that you provided a driver's license ID. You have to put down motor vehicle operating permit. And if you say license, you lose your vote. Now, why would a spokesman for the Obama campaign or someone close to the campaign say, don't worry about it? Well, I think he just didn't know. He was just, he's a star who's they're throwing them at radio shows. I want to explain the policy that they have.
And I don't agree with it, but I'm not concerned about who wins. I'm concerned that people get their votes counted.
Right.
They are very, very concerned that when I do reports and Bobby Kennedy, who's my co-writer at Billionaires and Ballot Bandits, does reports. Obama spoke to him. Others have spoken to us and to Bob Petrakis filing suits on these games. Is that when you make these reports, it discourages people from voting.
I don't think it does. I think it pisses people off enough, pardon my language, that they get out there and say, if they're going to steal 3 million votes, I'm going to show up as part of 8 million.
Exactly. I've always said when they steal 9 votes, 3 million voters. So please vote. Don't
let them. Greg, you're breaking up. But bottom line, please vote. Don't let them get away with it. You're absolutely right. Go to gregpalast.com for more information. You can see the report there. You can download his new book, Billionaires and Ballot Bandits. And if you haven't, be sure and buy a copy too. Greg, thanks for being with us.
You're the best, Tom. Thanks.
You're the best, Greg. We'll be back.